Here in the Golden Triangle. It's our pleasure to welcome now Ray Hollis, Workforce Business Outreach and Training Manager at the East Mississippi Community College Communiversity right down the street here. Ray, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, glad to be here.
So you might be busy with all this economic development that has already been going on in the region, but you know there's going to be a whole lot more coming to take advantage of this 1,440-acre beautiful Megasite.
Without a doubt. I mean, we provide training to upcoming companies, ones that are on their way locating in, pre-employment, meeting the current need and then trying to prepare for these upcoming needs. We're ever expanding programs all the time. So I tell everybody a schedule and nightmare is what I really want, because that means we're actually providing the services that's needed.
And I've said it before, we've done the show up here, of course, several times. It's a fantastic concept that I think has paid dividends. But, Ray, I think it's fair to say that we haven't always seen this level of collaboration between the private sector and the academic community. But you guys are sort of the poster child for that, and it's paying benefits, and I think it's a key reason why companies seek this area to locate.
Well, the building, the communiversity itself, just speaks volumes.
It's incredible.
East Mississippi as a whole provides all types of trainings, credit and non-credit, and bringing those workforce training, events into that building, it speaks for itself. When you got a potential company that comes in and sees the capability and our ability to be able to just on demand change the training environment. So workforce, we're able to just say, what do you need? We look at that. Once we see the need, what do we have in place? What can we tweak to meet that company's need? So we're not reinventing the wheel, but what it is, there's a typical training that you have for everybody. There's kind of a standard set of skills that everybody's going to need to go into manufacturing, right? We provide that, but then we want to get into the specifics for that company, and that's where we tailor it. So we do a lot of contractual training.
Okay.
We work with the state for pre-employment, what's needed for the current industries, what's needed for upcoming industries. So we got a lot of great partners in our area that provide that, that knowledge set for us. But the one thing we tell everybody is the company needs to tell us, hey, what do you need?
Yeah.
And we can start working on that from day one. So when we meet with them, my job is to listen. Now, if I take you on a tour, you're going to hear me tell you everything that we can offer. But at the end of it, it's what do you need specifically? You've seen what we have. Is there something that we don't have that we can develop for you? So the flexibility, the support from the state that we have for this workforce initiative, the support from our local community, the industries in the area. I will say this, I'm busy, but I've got so much support, it just makes it easy. And I may seem overwhelmed, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but at the end of the day, we're able to meet this because of the support system that we have in this area.
That's fantastic to hear, and I think it's so refreshing just to hear that we don't have this sort of wedge that existed for so many decades, again, between the private sector and the educational world, where the educational institutions didn't seem to really solicit that sort of input from industry. But you're doing that. You just said it. You're sitting down, you're listening. What is it you need?
Yeah, so career technical, they have a set, the curriculum, the state, they get together and they say, here's the skills that will transfer across the state into these areas. But then what we do on the workforce side is we take that standard set and then we say, okay, what specific aspects of it do we need to add to meet your need as a company? What do we need to increase training in? Is there a company coming in that has a real high machining need? We need to increase our open enrollment, pre-employment, our career technical classes to meet that need on the front end. So the good thing is with these projects, we know ahead of time what's coming. So we can start gearing up the workforce in our area ahead of time. We can start offering those classes. We do it, it's been tried, it's been tested, it works. We get asked all the time, well, where are these employees going to come from? Well, we're going to train them. Somebody that leaves one manufacturing industry to go to another, well, we're training the person to backfill that spot right now.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fantastic. So have you ever had a situation, Ray, where a company that's looking for a particular type of training comes to you, and maybe you don't have the assets, you don't have the resources, but at that particular time, but you figure out a way to satisfy that need?
Well, that is exactly what we do. So we utilize the current equipment we have. The state's really good, across the credit and the non-credit side, that we don't say this is our equipment, this is your equipment. This is equipment to train the workforce.
Okay.
So we can utilize anything that we have currently. We work with the people at the state level, whenever through special projects, if we know it's coming, to bring the specialized equipment in. We're doing that now. We're just starting a new program coming up with aviation manufacturing. And, that's all in part of what the industry said they needed, who we partnered with, bringing everybody together. We've got robotics trainings that are increased because we know that need. Mississippi's ever advancing. How are we going to meet that need? So we look at it. So the answer is that, yes, we can provide that training if we don't have the resident expert in-house, but the company has the person that needs to provide that training. There's ways for us to incorporate them in and provide it.
Okay. So you get creative to figure it out.
Every day, what I say, every company's need is different.
Yeah.
So we've got to listen to them as an individual.
Well, again, that's a bit of, I think, a departure from more traditional education where it was fairly rigid, fairly dogmatic, but that doesn't work today.
It doesn't. I mean, like I said, everybody needs to know how to read a tape measure. Everybody needs to know how to read a blueprint, right?
Yeah.
But the work processes, the prints for that particular company, there's going to be a little, nuances in there that we're going to have to incorporate into that training. So getting that rapid return and turnaround for them is huge for us.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And just being able to produce workers that of course experience this training and they're ready to hit the ground running. That's really the goal of these companies, is it not? So that when they finish with their instruction under you guys' purview, that they show up on the work site, at the plant, the factory, whatever the situation may be, they're ready to go to work.
That's our goal. Our goal is to get them to shorten that onboarding process.
Okay.
Now, there's some training that we do, that's the pre-employment, open enrollment, that we're doing all the time. Mm-hmm. When a company comes in, they may pull participants from that. We just ask that they interview them. These people have a work-ready set of skills. But we also do contractual training specific to the company. So the company, we work with them and we develop a training plan that meets their exact need. And a lot of times these people are already working for the company and they send them to training for us. So we do a lot of upskilling as well. We may take somebody that was an assembler and give them some CNC training. Now they're able to move into an operator role at a facility. So when I say we're ever changing and we just want to meet that immediate need for that company, we don't know what it looks like. The company, as long as they're letting us know, we're going to work to meet that need.
That's got to be a win-win, right? The company gets the labor resources that they need with the skills they need, and the worker has an opportunity to move up the ladder.
That, traditional education was, either I went into a manufacturing facility and I went to work, or you went to college. That was in the 90s whenever I come out. You made a choice of which way, or you went to the military. And what we have now is, and what I found, it's better to have some type of training, some type of credential or certificate, whether it's an associate's degree, whether it's a work-ready certificate, and then go work in that facility. Now you get that set of skills, and as these other companies come in, you may have an opportunity to move on. Gone is the day of, I work for this company, I live here, I'm there for 30 years, and, in the past it was a stigma. You left, you're never coming back. What we found is these companies, that people will go work in an industry for about, 4 or 5 years, get a promotion, get an opportunity to move on, they learn a new set of skills. Well, those companies are welcoming them back. Mm-hmm. They come back with another set of skills that's going to make the company better. So when I say it's a revolving wheel, you don't know where you're going to land. But if you've got that base set of skills, you come in with some type of degree, a certificate or something like that, you're going to be better prepared to move on to those other jobs.
Well, let's be honest. There are not many jobs anymore that are static, that are like permanent. That's what you're going to do forever and ever.
I have changed roles now. I started in manufacturing, so all of our trainers have to have industry experience. All of our career technical instructors, you have to have industry experience before you can come in and teach. So you're coming from the field. So I had 17 years in manufacturing. I'm in education now. So it's a learning curve, but the thing is, I went through this. I lived it. So I've got a different perspective when it comes to it that I want to, guide others along that path as well.
Makes total sense. That's fantastic, Ray. Enjoy hearing so much about that, because that no doubt is playing a critical role in scaling the economy and the wealth, honestly, the prosperity of our state. Ray Hollis, Workforce Business Outreach and Training Manager at East Mississippi Community College, the Communiversity, folks, right down the street. If you haven't seen it, you need to come see it. You'll be blown away, I promise. Appreciate it, Ray. Thanks,
yes, sir.
Ray.
Thank you.
Yeah. Folks, we're stepping aside for a break. Once again, we're in the Golden Triangle region of Mississippi. We're here to celebrate the Cinco Megasite. We got half an hour of middays remaining.